Historic Harwich is compact to say the least. 7 streets wide, approximately 400 metres east to west from the beach to Trinity House and 800 metres north to south from the dockyard to the redoubt. But its story is much bigger. Kings and queens have dined in Harwich, ships of war were built here and great voyages planned from this, the most northerly port in Essex. And this is one of the rooms the prisoners were kept in. You can see they've left a lasting legacy on the walls with these amazing carvings, some of them dating back to 1777. 13 years later, in 1620, that other Harwich man made his momentous journey across the Atlantic. His name, Christopher Jones, his ship, the Mayflower, which carried the Pilgrims or Puritan separatists to their new home in the New World.
Youngsters have been involved in making the giant puppet.
I'm making my way to the highest land point in the town, the Harwich Redoubt. More than 200 years ago, this was a place of great strategic importance, as this country prepared itself for a possible invasion by the army of Napoleon Bonaparte. Life in Harwich after the war was pretty grim. The old naval yard became redundant. Unemployment was high, properties fell into disrepair, and a soup kitchen was opened to feed the hungry. But a shining light amongst all the gloom of the Depression was the Electric Palace, providing entertainment for those able to part with their shillings and penny pieces.
Cinemas began to build, they called them picture houses, picture palaces, and Charles Thurston thought, I'm going to have one of these, and as he used to come with his tent to Harwich Green and show films, he decided to build a cinema there.
Saved and restored, the Electric Palace once again became a much-loved part of Harwich, showing all the latest releases. But in the late 1930s, in between the films of Charlie Chaplin, Robert Taylor and the like, newsreels at this cinema were showing something far more sinister: the rise of Hitler and his persecution of Jews, causing Jewish children to seek refuge in this country by what became known as Kindertransport. 10,000 of those children passed through the port of Harwich. With the outbreak of the Second World War in September 1939, the town was again taken over by the Navy. The sound of air raid sirens became a familiar one as German bombers flew in to drop mines in the harbour and bombs on the borough. And 1,200 local children, along with their teachers, were evacuated, finding sanctuary in Gloucestershire and Herefordshire.
It was frightening really, because you didn't know where you were going, and we finished up at Brimfield near Ludlow, my sister and I.
In the early hours, a tidal surge made its way along here and invaded the town, taking with it the lives of 8 residents and making hundreds homeless in the process.
And the slates were coming off the roofs in Albemarle Street. So we thought, oh, it's just a gust of wind. So for safety, we had to walk down the centre of the road.
Following the tragic events of winter that year, springtime brought happier times thanks to the local football team. Harwich and Parkston surprised many by reaching the final of the FA Amateur Cup, which was played in front of 100,000 fans at Wembley Stadium. For many, that day lives long in the memory.
And we went off to Wembley, to the mecca of all football. Wembley Stadium, the Twin Towers, 100,000 supporters. It was amazing. The atmosphere was incredible. Unfortunately, we lost 6-0 to a team called Pegasus, who were a combined Oxford and Cambridge University team. But it was a great day and one I should never forget.
These streets are alive with the sound of music. It's the Harwich International Shanty Festival, and they're singing in the pubs, on the pier, and even out on the river.
she did was dilly-dally for the American boathouse. So!
Very often, if you was windbound, you would just sort of drop anchor and hope for the best. If there was not enough food, well, you do the best you can. And very often you eating green bread. the bread going mouldy. Yeah.
Some things, though, are unchanged. The Halfpenny Pier, with its unique ticket office and waiting room, reminding us of its earlier, grander days when hundreds queued for the steamers. Despite a fire in 1927 which virtually cut the pier in two, it remains at the heart of Harwich, a place where people gather for a chat, to enjoy views of the harbour, or to watch the seamen of Harwich go about their daily lives.